What's up, everyone?
Hi.
We are back this week. It's me. It's your co-host with a voice and face made for radio. It's Kaz, and I'm here with Kid.
Hi, everybody. He's so excited to be back. I was getting ready to do an intro, too.
I didn't like taking last week off.
That's not anybody's fault but your own. Brain bleed.
That is not what it was. We talked about this. And look, see? We already lost 2 viewers on Twitch. Way to go. I'm blaming you for that. What's up, Tristan?
Yo, what's up? We didn't even think you were going to show up today because I knew you were working with your dad. How's that going, by the way? Is it garbage? I'm sure it's garbage. I would think it'd be garbage if I had to work with my dad, too. It's okay. Oh, man. So, first off, I'm going to apologize to all our YouTube viewers. The YouTube stream got wonky last episode that we did, and we didn't get it posted either. So I apologize.
What?
We didn't
What do you mean?
Did you get it up?
Episode 7 has been up.
On YouTube, remember? Because we talked about...
It was episode 6 that didn't post.
Or, yeah, was it episode 6?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Well, I apologize still because episode 6 is not up on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I couldn't sign into the Twitch to download the raw file.
I don't know why. I accepted everything I could. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't let me log in. And then the 2 weeks went past, the VOD expired, so episode 6 is lost forever.
Oh shit, it is. That sucks for everybody. We're sorry. We apologize. That's on us, and we'll.
That was our first sponsored episode too.
I know.
Here, I can't read what Tristan said from here.
I can't either. I thought you had YouTube chat pulled up.
Why'd you put the screen that far away? Okay, hold on.
Because I can't just
I can
pull
do that.
around
I'm
cords
a little
and
rusty.
shit.
I've been gone. Hold on. Bring up my little chat window.
My wife has this room specifically set the way it is. I'm not about to change it up.
He said going in a crawl space and gonna get wet.
That's what she said.
Living the life. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Oh, man. So does that mean, do you want to go over like a brief thing? I know you said there was some things you wanted to say from last episode.
From announcing announcements, episode 6. Well, there's one we can't talk about anymore.
Yeah.
Because of something that happened today.
Yes.
And the thing that happened today, we can't announce until it's ready.
Right.
So
things are happening.
That's gonna have to be
That's
put on
all
hold.
we've got to say, and I'm actually really excited about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited. So I can't wait to announce that.
Shouldn't be too long.
No. Oh. And then your YouTube stuff.
My YouTube stuff.
Your YouTube stuff.
Yeah, that was going to get started, and then I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good that didn't happen yet.
With your brain bleed.
It was not a brain bleed. It's okay. Meningitis, everybody. Look it up. Look it up. You just Google it. It's spelled just like it sounds.
To give the inside joke here,
Later, Tristan.
When I asked him what was going on, he messages me this whole rundown of what the doctors were saying and how vague they were being, so he decided to med exit. Or med MD it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. That's essentially what you did. He says, I Googled it, and
Google is not WebMD, motherfucker. WebMD is a bunch of people pretending to be doctors.
He said, I either have a brain bleed or a tumor.
No.
The message specifically says...
It didn't say, I have either this or this other thing. It said there was this certain test that they ran that had this certain result that they've never had before, and I wondered what that could possibly mean, given the test that they were going to run subsequent to that. So I looked up what that could mean, and it meant that they could either be looking for a bleed on the brain or a tumor. They thought I had cancer, which I don't. Cancer-free. Woohoo.
All jokes aside, cancer is bad.
Yes, it is. Cancer is cancer.
But that's where the brain bleed joke is going to come from now on. So everybody has an idea of what's going on. It will forever be a thing, whether Kaz likes it or not.
Yay.
In other news I'm excited about, we have finally got Kaz 2 nights in a row to stream with us.
Yes, I was on Twitch with everybody.
With everybody.
Of course, not on my own channel. I was on everybody else's channels, but be that as it may, still on Twitch.
I'm surprised you haven't tried to at least stream with us, like actually stream, at least get some content out there.
I wasn't sure how well it was gonna go, just with the internet connection at the time. So I figured rather than having a choppy first episode, I'd just hop into your guys' to see how it goes. Plus,
Either way, it was fun.
Get to know the guys on a gaming level.
Yeah, those were an interesting 3 o'clock in the morning conversations.
Thankfully, off stream.
Yeah, right. He goes, it's like 2:30, man, and I'm like, no, it's
no, it was 3:30.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, daylight savings. And we had just talked about it.
Yep.
Oh, man, it fucked me up last night too. We were streaming, and I looked at the time, and I'm like, oh, I still have a little bit of time to stream, and then time passed again, and I'm like, oh shit, I should go to bed. I am all out of whack right now. It sucks. I've never been up that late in a long time, and it screwed me up this morning because I had things I needed to do, and I didn't get them done.
Yeah, probably shouldn't do the late night streams when you have stuff to do the next morning.
You know what's shitty is I still have my alarm set for 7:30, and I slept through it. I didn't sleep through it. I woke up, looked at it, thought I was dreaming, and passed right back out.
Smooth.
I thought I turned them off because I don't need them anymore right now.
Yes, Fez, ARC stuff is in the works right now. I will contact you soon-ish with more details. Just got to iron a couple things out.
Do you want to work on that Saturday?
Time will tell. Everything's kind of mixed up right now with spring break. Kids not being in school and everything.
That's fair. That's why we're in the bedroom today. And not out in the living room. And we're in the second office, not the main office. We've got a smaller screen to look at chat with, and it sucks. I need to just invest in brand new TVs for the whole house. Just say, fuck it, and invest in them. Because TVs, believe it or not, are actually getting cheaper. I'm surprised.
You know what's even cheaper than that? Just an LCD monitor.
That's true. I could do that. But it wouldn't be as big.
You can get them different sizes. So you can get a 32-inch LCD monitor.
True. But that wouldn't be a TV for in here either.
Well, no, it wouldn't. I mean, you can use it as a TV if you hook your computer up to it and just stream everything. But, I mean...
No, I think I'll just invest in TVs. 'Cause I saw one at Walmart that I really liked. It was...
Well, I mean, you don't even have cable, right?
No.
Everything you watch is streaming through a console or your computer.
Correct.
Right? Okay. LCDs.
Who gets cable anymore?
LCDs have HDMI ports.
Oh, that's true.
So you don't even need all that extra shit that comes with the TVs nowadays.
But can I get one that's 82 inches?
I don't know.
Well, there you go. For $600?
I've never tried to look up an 82-inch LCD monitor.
I'm talking about for the living room, the second living room, and the bedroom.
I don't know. It would definitely save you in here.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because this TV is crap. Thankfully, I didn't pay a damn thing for it.
Plus, you could also get older style TVs and just use them as a monitor.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
That's what I ended up doing with my 42-inch before it got put in the bedroom.
That's true. That's fair. But still, I mean, either way, I mean, TVs are getting cheaper. I saw a Samsung 70, what was it? I think it was a 72. And it was only $600. It was one of those
not terrible.
Fancy 4K curved TVs.
I hate that curved shit.
I know,
it's so dumb.
I'm just talking about the price here. Like one of those, I've seen those back a couple of years ago for a couple $1,000, and I found one for $600, brand new. And then I was looking into it, and even I'm a huge fan of Sharp and LG, as far as their TVs go, because their visuals are amazing. I saw an 80. I think it was the 82 inch that was $700. Again, relatively cheap for 4K. I'm okay with that.
I mean, unless 4K becomes the standard, I don't think I'll ever buy a 4K TV.
Yeah, but 4K is the new thing right now.
I get that, but when you've got HD versus Ultra HD, and you look at it just as a regular person, not as a cinema snob, you realize there's no real difference.
We have a lot of friends that are cinnamon snobs. Cinnamon.
Cinnamon snobs. Cinnamon schnapps?
Oh, God. Oh, that sounds dangerous as fuck.
So in other words, they're alcoholics.
Talk about a hangover. Jesus. It's like having Rumplemints on steroids. It sounds like.
I don't know.
Rumplemints.
But I don't see the appeal with Ultra HD. It's so dumb. I mean, we're getting to a point where pixels are so small that they're indistinguishable at all. And we've already got to a point where, how do I put this? It was above 1080p, that 2190, 60, whatever it is.
I don't know. That's news to me.
It was right before Ultra HD.
Oh.
It was like the definitive HD, and then all of a sudden there was Ultra 4K, whatever you want to call it. Fucking jack off in your hand, this fucking bullshit. I can't stand it. The price goes up. The quality changes at a minimalistic level.
That's the point I was getting at, though, was the price for something that I expected and I've seen in the past, in just a year ago, was definitely out of my price range. And now that I'm seeing $600, $700 price tags compared to what they were, again, a year ago, when I've seen the same TVs for $1,800, $2,100, and I mean, that's a significant drop in price for something that's supposed to be quote unquote top of the line at the moment.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That gets my wallet excited because I'm that guy. I like the next best thing. And now that I could afford the next quote unquote the next best thing, I was like, ooh, hello.
Yeah, no, I'm not into that. I like saving money as much as I can.
Until VR, this is the standard.
Dude, as soon as we get full dive, I'll sell a kidney for that shit. I'll go full broke.
I watch too much anime for that shit.
I don't even need a house. I'll just live in game.
Like, I'll just make money in there to pay for my health insurance. You can just set me up in a hospital bed. Oh, shit.
I mean, I'll take that over the permanent headache.
That's fair. God, no, I watched too much anime for that shit. I couldn't. Nope. No, sir. Not happening. Not going to be a thing for me. I'll buy it. I'll enjoy it, but I am going to be very cautious.
Yeah, I think you give up cautious once you use it the first time.
Okay, fair enough.
Because, you can't cautiously just hijack your brain into a machine.
That's true. I mean, it would be cool, though.
Yeah, it would. It probably won't happen in our lifetime.
That's true. You know what? Fuck it. That wasn't any of my ideas, but let's just jump into it. Today's subject is what if, right?
Okay.
What if that was the current technology? Full dive VR.
We're fucked.
Fair enough. So here's a scenario. What if it did exist? It was a thing. What game or games or even I could see living in a movie scenario at this point with full dive. What would be your ideal activity in full dive VR?
Well, definitely not movies. There's a certain appeal to having a specific vantage point when it comes to cinema.
Fair.
I I mean, when you read books like what was that one? Was it Fahrenheit 451? They would burn books. People would be so consumed with their TV shows and everything. They would end up having rooms that were
Yes.
the walls were screens.
Yeah.
That way, you could basically live in that
Right.
TV show and get the whole perspective as a character there, even though you're not really there. You lose a storytelling element that way. So I don't see that actually being viable. I see people doing it just for the novelty.
Right.
But as for it going anywhere, hell no. Ideally, most likely just games, specifically MMOs, because you'd have more interactions with more people versus first-person shooters,
Yeah.
Single player.
Although I can see the potential for, especially for full first-person shooters in this. Currently, one of the biggest games.
That's all right, Fez. Thanks for popping in.
Dropping shit here. One of the biggest current games in VR is a milsim called Onward. I've played it. It's super fun.
It's a mediocre Disney movie.
No, fair. Trying to appeal to the D&D players of the world. No, but it's a game called Onward. It's a first-person military simulator. Very fun. I enjoy the shit out of it. It's very immersive. As far as movement, firefights, the weapon controls are very complex on how they're loaded, how sights are used. It's just the mechanics in general are very immersive in this game. I can see that being the top 5 of games in full dive VR. Something like that. Because, I mean, now you're not just dealing with things like you're taking... Now, I don't see... Let's start off this way. I don't see Call of Duty players doing this because they're used to that arcadial style gameplay. Now,
Well,
granted, I'm
it
sure there
would-
will be Call of Duty full dive.
Yeah, it would definitely create a rift in the first-person shooter genre.
Oh, definitely. Because there are those people that specifically want mill simulators. Arma, the Onward. Now, I think Arma has a VR port, but it's not as immersive. You still have to use a controller, but I can see that being, especially in a full dive. You've got such a huge map to play in.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to be there. Like, actually be there with the full dive. So I can see that fucking hitting the fan. And then, like I said, Onward is another one where everything is a little bit more complex as far as communication with your team and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Call of Duty, where I can see it being just... You don't have to physically reload the gun like you do in these other games. All you gotta do is, hey, think it. And it reloads.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would go that far. I'm pretty sure you would still have to actually reload the weapon at that point. Like, we'd be getting some GGO style shit.
Yeah. But I could see where first-person shooters can go. Because I'm a first-person shooter player.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just it.
I am versus AIs, not versus people.
Hey, you're getting better. You're getting better. That stream is still up. They can all go watch it.
For now. Did you make any clips yet?
No.
Get on that shit.
But as far as MMO goes,
Somebody would make a Sword Art Online.
of course, it's way too popular for them not to.
Yeah, it would be one of the first games out.
Which is just...
Actually, no. I take that back. You know what they would do? They would build Alfheim Online. Because Sword Art Online, Castle Einkrad, got integrated into that.
The seed.
And it's a far superior version.
True. And
Because
then I
even in that area, you have sections where it completely disables wings.
Yeah.
So they can still use, like, magic and abilities, but they can't fly around, making it balanced in the floating castle.
Fair enough. And then you've got people, and then we go back to the first-person shooters,
Right, GGO.
GGO, which I think that would be definitely a game that I would play.
I would hope they program it differently, though, because not being able to respec your stats is fucking stupid
That's true. Yeah.
for any MMO.
It's ridiculous. Now, for example, though, I played the game. It got shut down recently, and I didn't play it for long because I didn't end up liking it. EA made it.
Well, they made a lot of those kind of games.
Um,
Generally sports games, but, whatever.
no, you had a mech
No offense
suit.
to anybody who likes sports games. I don't get it. That's me personally. If you're going to play a sport, go play the sport. I don't understand why you would play the sport in a game.
Because they physically can't. I don't know.
Eh.
They act like they're good, but they're not. I don't know.
But I mean, you see these esports teams, and they're all like people who look like they could actually play the sport that they're playing
Yeah.
in the game. It's I don't get
They're
it.
probably just not good enough. I don't know. That's full offense there. I'm sorry.
Sounded like some projection.
I can't play sports.
Why is it no matter where we're set up in this room, I'm always staring at a painting of your wife's ass?
Do you want to switch?
I'm just pointing that out.
My wife has a nice ass. Sorry. It has to be up on the wall for everyone to see. I could put that thing in the living room. I could.
I don't recommend it.
I could do it.
I don't recommend it.
I will. Don't tempt me. Oh, shit. But no, fuck, I can't think of what the game was called.
What kind of game was it?
It was meant to be almost like The Division. It was an MMO loot grab game where, except for you're in a mech suit, you could fly. Each mech, there was 4 different mechs that each had special abilities. And you would go out in the open world and do missions and shit like that. It was just like The Division, except for with mechs. Fuck, I can't think of the name.
Time for the magical Google. Let's see, as soon as Google loads. EA game
I'm pretty sure it was EA.
with Max.
Anthem. Look, I found it out. I found it before you did.
Okay, that... When you said mechs, I was thinking like Gundam style mechs.
No,
I didn't know
no.
you meant like power suits.
But Anthem. Anthem is one that I would, if they could, a full dive version of that, I would play it. Because I love the concept of the game. It just didn't pan out the way it should have.
Yeah.
Way too early in launch. It ended up being a shit show. Especially with their loot drops. Their loot drops sucked. You could be top level and still get junk loot the whole game.
It's one of those where it was a great concept. It didn't quite get there with the execution.
Right. Same with The Division. The Division was a great now granted, it still has at least Division 2 still has a huge following. Huge following. Hell, I was a fan of The Division 1. But it felt like something was missing every time you played.
Well, plus it's kind of a pioneer, the Division series, because it's a looter shooter from a government agent perspective.
Right. But I mean, in that situation though, even if it's a government agent, we have real military units out there now that live that kind of life where they're out on their own for
But not
months.
here in the States.
Right, but still, I mean, even if it is from the government agent's perspective, that's something that could happen and something that happens today where we've got units out there in a urban area or even in the wilderness just surviving, going up against guerrilla forces every day. And so, I mean, it's a thing that it's very true to the real life of an agent like that. But
Yeah.
again, like you said, in the U.S., area, which is great. I think that
It
could
was
happen.
in New York, wasn't it?
Yes. And then I think the Division 2 happens in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But I would love to play a game like that in Full Dive.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Because I think with most of the action would happen player versus player, or it would be PvP or even
Actually, no. With a game like The Division, if
the Dark Zones.
if a game like that got made into VR, I don't think you would want it being PvP. Like, you can have multiplayer matches, but I would expect those to be completely separate, isolated from the rest of the game.
Well, see, and that's kind of what they had. So, like I said, I haven't played the Division 2 yet, mainly because I wasn't all hyped for it like everybody else. But in the Division 1, you had everything around. All the PvE stuff was around what they called a dark zone. In the center of the map was the dark zone, where you could find the better loot and things like that. Because
Right.
it wasn't just PvE in that area; it was also PvP. You were fighting other division agents for said loot and for said drops.
That's dumb.
It was a fun concept.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but for the setting, that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, and that's why I think my ideal version of this game, especially for Full Dive, is not a government agent, but just you yourself surviving in that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That would something we could use in Full Dive. It would be Sword Art Online style, but Gun Gale online, but more of a survival aspect than what the SAO and the Gun Gale would have. It's just
like basically Gun Gale online outside of that hub city.
Correct. Yeah, because I mean that was pretty much what Gun Gale was. I think though, I don't know, from what the show showed. The show showed.
From what the show presented.
Was, more PvE than anything.
No. The introduction we get to Gun Gale Online is Sinon and her crew taking on the people with the guard. They took him out before, and
How
then
long it's been since
the
I've
second
seen that
time,
show?
the dude with the minigun.
You know how long it's been since I've seen that show, though?
Not that long for me. I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago.
You did.
Well, it's like I can't sleep without listening to something.
Right.
So I try to make it something I've seen before. So
Fair,
I'll load
fair.
that up on Hulu or I think it was Netflix at the time. Either way, something that would automatically stop after a few
The new
episodes.
season sucks. I don't know if you've seen it.
It's not for everyone.
I definitely couldn't get into it.
It's not for everyone.
We got to episode 3 and quit.
I'll put it this way: it helps. There's only two. There's Alicization and Alicization War for Underworld.
No, the new season of Sword Art Online.
What do you mean?
It's on. We watched it on the Funimation website because I have an account still with Funimation somehow. I don't know how, but I do. And we've been watching the new. Started watching the new season of Sword Art Online, and we couldn't get. We got into episode 3 and couldn't get.
What are
into
you
it.
talking about? New season?
Well, I can pull it up faster than you. I have Funimation on my phone. Look, hold on. I'll pull it up. Oh, there it is. You hear, guys? Funimation.
November 6th, 2022.
Hold on.
We got to wait most of the year for that. So what are you talking about? And that's season 5, not season 6. There is no season 6. So you've got Sword Art Online, and you've got Gun Gale Online. That's the first 2 seasons. And then the 2 following that, 3 and 4, are Alicization and War for Underworld. So this new 3rd season you're talking about would be season 5, which doesn't start until November of this year.
Well, then, okay, so Funimation has updated it then because it used to be season 1, season 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Now it is the I can't pronounce shit.
Alicization.
And then War of the Underworld. What's the one where he's? Which one is it where the show legitimately starts off with him chopping down a tree?
That's Alicization.
Okay, I couldn't get into it at all. We got to episode 3.
To be fair, it's a lot easier if you've read the books first.
I don't have time for that.
Because then you already kind of know what to expect, or even if you've just read the first few chapters to that first,
okay,
just so you know what you're getting into. Because in that world, it's kind of like his digitized soul, basically.
Right, which it got to that point already from what we watched, they had talked about that.
Mm.
And he's currently working for some full dive company. And he can't tell the whole crew about it. Blah,
Yeah, no.
blah, blah, blah. And
Well, of course, he's not told everything either.
yeah. But I couldn't get into it. I feel like it was because I was so used to how quickly season 1 and season 2 got into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one just starts out so slow. We start off the whole show with him going into full dive into Sword Art Online, and within episode 2, we come to find out you're stuck. And then with Gun Gale, it starts off right there. We know what's going on. We're in a new game. Blah 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 blah. It's here. And then this one, I'm going to start off the first episode with you chopping down a tree. Woo!
And that's him and Yu-Gi-Oh's goal, is to chop down that tree.
And they have this whole life together that he doesn't really remember, and it's...
Because when he's in one world, he doesn't remember the other.
Yeah. And it was just hard to get a grip on the season. I lost interest really quickly. Like I said, I think it was episode 3 that we got into, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. It also gets really, really dark. Because the way they've programmed that world is that all of the quote-unquote NPCs behave on the same intellectual level and with the same hierarchical structures as actual humans have throughout history. And they can't go against it, which means you always obey the person with the power. To go against them would be breaking a taboo. Every time the taboo is broken, even throughout history, there's been consequences.
Yeah.
So to save from those consequences, they just don't let the people do it. But it also leads to some really, really dark and sketchy situations involving certain people who have power and want to exert it over people who don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I know I have to get into it and finish it just for watch sake, because I'm a completionist. I have to finish something.
Mm.
Again, we've talked about this many times, like with the Halo series. As much as I hate Halo Infinite's story.
Yeah, I know. It's been nagging me in the back of my head because I started Infinite, and I know I have to finish it at some point. I
can't. I have gotten to. I just finished the road, which is like the third to last mission. And I'm now currently in the tower, the main.
I got it.
And
I know what we'll do. We'll learn the speedrun strategy. Skip most of the fucking game just to get to the ending, and then we can say we beat it.
I've seen that. Yeah, the teleporting strategy, which I don't
have any fucking clue how that shit works.
I don't know
or
either.
how anybody would have even
on a
figured that
mechanical
out.
standpoint. I don't understand, because the way that I again, this is somebody that's actually played this game mission per mission to get to where I'm at.
Right.
There is certain objectives that you have to key in, and when I watched that speed run, I didn't even see him fight any of the Spartan hunters. And there's at least 2 of them that we fight in the main story.
Yeah. Well, no, he fought 2 of them.
No,
Yes,
because you fight one in the main tower, or the first tower you go into in the game. You have to go up in that tower just to fight him to save the Spartan and watch
He
him
fought
die.
the one at the beginning, and then he fought the Elite with the funky looking
There's two
energy
elites.
swords.
There's two elites for
The
sure.
one, the one from the first cutscene with the funky looking energy
Yeah,
swords.
that's the main the lead Spartan hunter.
Yeah,
We fight him near the end of the game. I watched him fight him. The first one, however, is actually in the communication tower at the beginning of the game, and I never watched him fight him. Because right after that, there's a cutscene where we watch a Spartan die, and it pisses John off. Like, he goes on a total
Oh, you're right. It
depression
wasn't that
rampage.
one. It was the one I got it mixed up. No, the first mini boss we fought was the first mini boss of the game.
Right.
First he fought,
And that wasn't even a Spartan hunter.
and then the last Spartan hunter, and then
Right. And
Yeah.
because the first mini boss that we fight in the game is before you go up the elevator to get outside of the Halo, and that is a brute chieftain that we fight. Very strong one. It took me 6 tries to beat. And that was on normal difficulty. So I'll give.
I didn't find that fight very hard.
I don't think I was ready per se. I was kind of just easing through everything, and then boom, there it was. But I don't still brings me to the point. I don't understand how that teleportation speed run works, because this motherfucker was able to activate key things in the game to make the mission start
Right.
through teleportation. Now, granted, it could be because each individual places that he went to are on different parts of the Halo that you can't. So for anybody that hasn't played this game,
Okay, but even then, from a technical standpoint, it doesn't make sense that what he did would make a bridge from one part to the next.
right?
Because what he does is he takes, I think it was either a ghost or a mongoose, whatever you have available at the time.
No, it was Ghost. Ghost.
I
It
think
was
Ghost the first
specifically a
one. I'm
ghost.
pretty sure the second one was a
Because
mongoose.
even the devs said they knew about this bug, and it's specifically a ghost.
Okay, well, either way, it's a small vehicle. You park it in a very specific location.
Pointing a very specific location.
Right. And then you back up a jackal to it, and then you melee the jackal, I think it was.
I don't remember. I'll have to rewatch it.
I don't remember exactly what you do, but there's some generic action that you always do throughout the game, but if you do it in this one spot up against the jackal who is up against the ghost, you activate this teleport glitch that brings you to a much later part in the game.
Right. Now, I'm wondering if so again, I'll go back for anybody that hasn't played this game and are under the impression that this game is full free roam. It is not.
No.
There are 3 specific areas on Zeta Halo that you can go to that are free roam. They're pretty large, but you can't just go to them willy-nilly. But I don't know if that activates each individual mission that he goes into, because I know like the road is a whole nother part of the final part of the Halo that you go to. It is not as big as the other 2. And then you've got the Catalyst area where you have to unlock different spires to shut down the healing process of the Halo, which are all individual missions. And I'm wondering if that's how he's activating them. Just getting to that area activates that mission. But that still doesn't make sense to me. Because there are other key roles in the game during the story that you have to do to activate those missions.
Yeah.
But it could be just getting to that specific area that starts the mission. Because like the road, as soon as you get to that area, the road starts.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you don't have to immediately go through it, but it starts. It even says mission start the road. So I don't know. That'd be fun to figure out. Now I'm gonna think on it. Watch. Thanks a lot, asshole. I'm going to think about it all day now. How that works.
Oh, I made you think. And I didn't even give you a what if.
Oh. Hell, that first what if wasn't even my what if. I just thought about it. Oh shit. What is your what if situation?
All right, I got one for you. What if all disputes were settled via WWE style bouts?
Oh my gosh.
Now, hold on. There's more to it than that. That's only domestic, like within the same country.
Right. So,
For
like,
it.
if I had to dispute against you, or normal spit spats that we have,
No,
we
no,
would
no,
have
no,
to
no,
sell
no,
them
no,
out.
no. Not just general fights between like friends or stuff like that. I mean like things that matter. So legal fights, mergers between companies, things like that. Anyone versus the government, what the government can do.
Actually, it brings up something real quick because it has to do with that. So you mentioned legal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually, and I don't remember, I seen it a couple years ago, and it always sticks in my head because it's funny as fuck. A man divorced his wife, or a wife divorced her husband. Blah, blah. Anyway, so the wife divorces her husband, and she gets with a new man.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. I don't remember. And she takes him to court. Now, I don't remember if it was the wife or the new man. He actually legally challenged to write a combat to the death for the settlement. Because there is a legal loophole in the state that he's in, it is a legal challenge. And the challenger has to fight him to the death for whatever it was they were fighting over. The challenger denied it and forfeited the challenge, so they lost. And the dude that got divorced won everything in that legal battle. It was a real thing that happened.
How long ago was this?
I don't know. I remember reading it a couple of years ago on. I don't remember. I don't. It was so long ago, but it always sticks in my head because of how funny it is. Like he legit challenged. We're gonna have to look it up because it's freaking hilarious, and I don't remember the
Divorce with
specifics.
Combat.
I don't remember if I'm pretty sure the wife was divorcing the husband, and the husband challenged either the wife or her new man to the death.
Holy shit.
Did you find it?
Man asked judge to approve trial by combat with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not reading this whole fucking article on stream, but all right, I'm gonna add this to reading list. Where's the That's not the right button. Where's the right button?
What state was that in?
It's a good question. Give me a second.
I know
That was here. That was in Kansas.
Was it really?
What the fuck?
Maybe that's why I was able to see it on Facebook the way I did, because it was here in Kansas. I don't really, unless it's Florida man does something, I don't see a lot of legal news on my Facebook unless it's here in the state. You see why I thought it was so funny that you brought up the dispute by WWE about... You mentioned that, and that's the first thing that popped in my head.
What the fuck?
Kaz is intrigued, everybody.
I know I said I wasn't going to read this on stream, but I'm skimming it to see if anything happened.
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
so no, nothing's happened yet. It wasn't
When
it
was
wasn't
it-
formally rejected.
When was it last updated?
This happened in 2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it wasn't
Or
a
at least
couple
it was
years ago.
recorded in 2020.
The question is that article legit or trustworthy?
It's Newsweek.
Oh, okay. Hey, what is that?
What is what? What's going on? Did I miss something?
That just popped up.
Error. What does it say? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming As such, view ... The video looks like it's still going, so I don't know what the fuck YouTube is talking about.
I don't know. I'll look it up on my phone real quick. Again, we
Anyway.
apologize to our YouTube viewers. I don't know why.
I was like, this stream's not even choppy. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I don't know.
I made sure to only use the 1080p fucking version of this video.
We might hear some double. Give me a second, guys. I'm checking it on my end.
What was talking about?
I don't know. I'll look it up on my phone. Sounds fine, too. Again, we apologize. Oh, well. Ignore it.
Anyways, so there was a caveat to that. My what if.
Sorry, that's the first thing that popped in my head, and it went together.
It's fine. So, WWE style bouts for things that are domestic, UFC style for anything international. Mixed martial arts, it gives you a wider range of rules, and it gives you a wider range of things you can actually do in combat.
That's true.
Because different countries have different styles.
See, that would...
So basically, wars would be fought with a UFC tournament. Hey, this should be over much faster.
That's true.
And hell, if we can have like Olympic panels of judges for people all over the world, I'm sure we can have panels of judges from people all over the world
for world wars and things like that. Well, that brings up the question then: how would you determine who would fight for who? So, like currently in
with the WWE style bouts, you would hold in your own country,
right? So, like currently, what's going on with Ukraine and Russia? Would the presidents of each country be like, okay, you can volunteer, we'll make a decision from the volunteers, or would they pick and choose somebody from the local military, or would the presidents have to fight?
Here's the thing. You would have representatives, basically, right?
Yeah.
So you would have, like I said, these WWE-style fights to determine who would be basically your team of champions, and that would be your army. Now, you don't have to maintain a 1,000,000-man army.
Right.
You just got to have, like, 10.
So...
But that also means if somebody challenges you, you can't turn it down. Just like someone invading a country, you don't really have a choice. You have to fight back. Would this go live on Raw or SmackDown? No.
Why not? That would be cool. Think about it. No,
because WWE is fake. That's not what I mean. I mean, it would be legitimate wrestling.
Right. But again, would this go...
But you would have all the showmanship, entrance music, all that shit, make a big production out of it because the government can make money that way. And you don't have to rely on like taxes and other shit. So that's taxpayer money that goes down.
Jeez, you just solved world peace in one go. Look at you.
I'm just saying, I think it'd be a huge benefit. The problem is getting the entire world to sign on.
I mean, I honestly could see a lot of politicians backing you on this.
I can see the general public backing me on this.
Yeah, no shit. I'm already backing you on this, and it's a stupid idea.
Month after month, higher ratings than the fucking Olympics has ever been.
Like every week, I could see it though. It would take over WWE. Vince McMahon would be out of business, but unless he was like, no, like I got this, I can.
No, you just have him and his people run all the stuff on the back end.
Right. So it would air on Monday Night Raw.
No, Monday Night Raw wouldn't be a thing anymore.
No, it still would be a thing. Hear me out. So it would air on Monday Night Raw. It would be one segment, like halfway through the show, right, where they're like, okay, now it's time for the local. Like it would be whatever state.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
Hear me out.
I wouldn't want these people being government, assets, having any ties whatsoever to any production companies. Now, it's one thing if they want to run all the presentation on the back end, like they're running the studio, they're running the ads, all that shit. That I'm fine with. But if they're making the rules and they're hosting the hosting it within their own shit instead of just hosting it in general.
So it would air on Fox TV, and instead of Judge Judy, we would be watching.
No, it probably wouldn't be on Fox either. It would be on.
I'm not paying pay-per-view for something like that.
No. It wouldn't even be pay-per-view. It'd have to be some government-run channel.
That's fair. Fox is government run.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Let's be
It's
honest.
politically run. It's not government run.
Okay.
But I mean,
Fair
so
enough.
is every other major news outlet.
Fair enough. Then it would have to be on, like, My TV or something. No, because that's not government run either.
Basically, we'd have another channel just like PBS, but it wouldn't be publicly funded. It would
Just
be
people
specifically government stuff.
Then we would have to have so the political wrestling matches would air on one TV station, and then again with the civil suits would be airing instead of Judge Judy.
Right. So that would be the new court TV.
I could see it now too. People walking up in fucking tight shorts and shit like that, walking up to the stand, and it would be Judge Judy, and she would ask, "What's going on?" All right, well, there's the ring.
In this corner,
I could see her
with 30 years bar experience and 2 years in the ring,
with your ref, Judge Judy. God, that would be great. Oh. No. Hold
But
on.
then again,
hold
how would
on.
objections work?
Judge Judy could not be the ref. I just got this gross mental image that I do not want to see again.
He's up on the top rope. He's going for the iron gavel.
Female lawyers in bikini holding up round cards.
No, you'd have to have interns do that.
So here's the other question: would it be you wrestling, or would it be your lawyer?
Whoever your representative is. So you could represent yourself if you're an experienced fighter, or you can hire counsel who would fight for you.
God, that would be great.
Then again, we might see a spike in health insurance.
That's true. Oh, whoa.
But with all the money you're saving on taxes,
You could save 15% or more on health insurance. There goes that.
smooth. There's the downside of not having carpet in here.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it still works. Haha. I dropped my vape.
Know what happens if I drop mine? Nothing.
I'm sure I can get that to break.
Yeah, if you throw it, I said drop it.
I have broken more of the pod devices than I have of these. By dropping them.
Which is weird because those are a shitload more fragile.
Not anymore. Not as they used to be. 'Cause I've broken a lot of these bigger mods. But then I've had my last 4 mods that I've owned have been durable enough that they don't break on impact. But then again, devices have come a long way in the years. And I mean a long way, especially the glass they use for the tanks. Because I know some friends that still use like the older tanks, and they are going through glass tanks like crazy because they drop them and break them. They're not as thick anymore, or they're not as thick as they used to be, or they are now. Yeah, they're not as thick as they are now.
One of those 3.
Yeah, that we'll go with that one. I'm still trying to get over the mental image of referee Judge Judy.
She can still keep her judge's robe.
Except for it to be striped.
Exactly.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn, that
And
would be
see,
hilarious.
when you sanction for court fees, it would just be the medical bills of your representative.
Christ. Those could get expensive as fuck, especially the way lawyer.
Yeah, well,
how
so
expensive-
can fucking court fees.
That's true. Okay. I could get down with that, though. I could. I could definitely get down with that. And since technically you can sue anybody for anything at this point, I want to sue somebody random. Like, oh man, bullying just went to a whole new level too. Holy shit! You know how easily you can bully somebody doing that?
Well,
I'm going to sue you for looking at me funny.
well,
And I'm only
you,
picking you because I know I could beat you in a fight.
you can't actually sue for that. So that's the good news.
But
So
still,
it would only be things you could actually take legal action for.
can you imagine how many people, though, are going to find loopholes just to be a bully and sue people just because they know they could win?
Welcome to the court system as it exists.
True. But I'm
I mean,
just saying, it just got a whole lot worse.
I mean, I could bring up a few fucking examples, but I can't because, the YouTube overlords and Twitch executives wouldn't appreciate it very much talking about things that they don't agree with.
That's true. We're not a political channel anyway. We just find ways to solve political disputes.
Well, I mean, it's...
with WWE fights.
The problem is the examples I have aren't really political situations. They've just been politicized.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So now you have to be a person who already has a certain following to be able to cover the shit or even mention it by name.
We'll get there. One way or another. Still.
YouTube took my monetization. I'm taking them to the ring. Fucking Joe Rogan would never have a problem again.
No shit.
It's like, I'm sorry, you want to deplatform who now? I'm going to deplatform your face.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Oh, speaking of things we're not supposed to mention, oops.
God. Just divorces would be great. And just imagine that being a thing, but if you divorce somebody, you can't, I so heartily believe that you should not be able, you can hire legal representation, however, you cannot use your legal advisor to wrestle for you. You have to wrestle your ex.
No.
Please
no.
let that be a thing.
No, they wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be real. I mean, if you choose to represent yourself, then you're going into a mixed match, but
I mean,
at that point, you have to choose to do it.
Look, if a Kansas man can challenge his ex-wife to trial by combat,
The fact that it wasn't immediately struck down worries me a little bit.
well, there's no. The thing is, it's not illegal to do either. There's nothing in any law or policy or statute that says that you can't challenge somebody like that. There's just not.
Well, here's the thing. When you're challenging someone to a fight to the death, a license to kill is not a real thing in the United States.
Technically,
Like, even when a cop kills a person, they still have to answer for that.
yeah.
It can be
Well,
ruled
so-
justified, but they still have to answer
So-
for it.
There is a shadowy line there. Now, it's anywhere near. Well, it's actually here in the States. I think it's up near Yellowstone. There's a section of land that legit sits on the border between two states that aren't sanctioned by the U.S. government. And if a crime happens in that stretch of land, you cannot be punished because it's not sanctioned by U.S. law.
Okay, so in other words, stay as fucking far away from there as possible.
It's a very small thing of land. It's very hard to get to, but they have found bodies there.
Well, no shit. Now, the question is, were they killed there or were they moved there?
Right, and that's
post-mortem?
where, even if they find, evidence against you, for example, say I kill somebody and drop their body there, and they found evidence that it was me that killed him. They can't prove that I killed him somewhere else.
You can, depending on certain circumstances, you can
Right.
prove that a body was moved. And if you can prove that, if you can prove where it originated from, then you can actually prosecute for something like that.
Right.
But when it comes to...
But if they can't prove that, then it was just happened there, and they have to let it go. I'm just saying. That's just unfortunately how that section of land
aside from
works.
that, you actually, if they can prove it, they also can't press charges for manipulating a corpse.
Yeah.
So those would be gone because that happened in an area where they don't have jurisdiction and
Exactly.
can't charge for anything.
Oh, how wonderful unsanctioned land is.
That's not the word I would use.
But yeah, you said that, and I'm like, yeah, well, there's a piece of land in the United States. I think there's also...
We should take all the meth heads and just move them there. Build a wall around it. Let them do their own
It's
thing.
not that big section of land, unfortunately.
Build a high rise.
Now, there is also another, and this kind of follows back and gets us back on track with your what if. I don't remember what state it's in. It's something we'll have to look up, but it's a village, also not sanctioned by the U.S. government. An older gentleman bought a lot of land. His family bought a lot of land, and it has stayed free from U.S. government control throughout the whole time that his family has owned it. He has now turned it into a town. It's got its own store. His wife is the store owner, the court clerk, the estate trustee. She's also the general store cashier. I mean, she runs all this for him while he's the sheriff, he's the mayor. He also does other things around the town with his wife. And one of his things is he's like 80 now, but in the interview that I watched with him, he said, if you have any issues here, you can settle it in a fight. Because that's just how we do things. So, at least in one little town that doesn't exist, your WWE bouts are legal.
I mean, either way, they'd be legal. Because the domestic ones, even the international ones, would be, it wouldn't be a fight to the death.
We all already know, though, who Ireland's going to choose for their representative.
Didn't Connor lose?
Yeah, he broke his leg his last match.
Yeah, I don't think they'd choose him.
I'm just saying. Oh. God.
I mean, it's not like the Irish would have to choose an Irishman. As long as they choose a citizen, it's fine.
That's true. God, could you imagine?
So our team would be made up of someone from fucking everywhere.
Well, we have so many different territories around the world. I should say the U.S. has so many different, because we don't, but the U.S. has so many different territories around the world. We can pretty much pick and choose anybody in those territories.
Mm-hmm. And see, that would be the risk of someone like, say, Russia going against someone with allies. Russia would only have their 10 fighters. The allies, you'd have 10 from each country
Right.
that they could choose from to fight those 10 fighters.
Oh, man, I can imagine how silly Russia's 10 representatives would look.
Yeah, but you know they'd all be gigantic, dude.
No shit. Ivor, let me beat you.
I am Ivor.
I mean,
My
I
twin
think
brother
there's,
Ivan and I will crush you, and then we will drink vodka.
there's I think currently 5 Russian natives in the UFC right now, and they are fucking huge. Huge. I'm surprised they're not belt holders. Jesus. Man, I hope
Bigger
Russia
doesn't
has
always
some
mean better.
really stupid fighters for their representatives.
Bigger doesn't always mean better. 'Cause,
That's true.
I mean, consider Joe Rogan, right? Aside from everything else, just him as a fighter.
Right.
He's not very tall. He's pretty muscly, pretty burly dude. And he's got a kick like a fucking shotgun blast.
That's true.
So, I mean, even guarding that shit is a risk.
No shit. Oh, man.
That's something you don't really get with a bigger dude. They don't have that kind of speed.
Right. But still, they can pack a punch. Holy fuck. I'm sorry. I'm still I keep laughing because I still imagine Judge Judy and his striped judges. I can see her, the way she points at people, like, no, incorrect hold, no, illegal hold, no.
Overruled.
I could just hear her voice in the middle of the ring screaming at the wrestlers.
Overruled, you idiot.
Oh, shit, those poor fighters.
Jesus.
Oh, man. No. Moving on.
Dude, alimony wouldn't exist anymore.
That's true.
I'm okay with that.
I bet you.
That's such a dumb law.
It is.
You got used to a lifestyle where you don't have to work for a living, and even if you did, you got used to the lifestyle where you had extra spending money.
Ooh.
Go fuck yourself. I don't care, man or woman.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh. So, one of my next what if, my original what if, I should say, because that first one was just something we've talked about before. But since the last time we talked about it, things have changed. New scenarios have come out that we could use our imagination on. Is what if we had superpowers? What if we had superpowers?
Oh, I thought there was more to that.
No. Well, I mean, it can go on to different things. What superpowers would you want? What kind of world do you think? And I'm talking about where most of the like a One Punch Man or My Hero. Like, and there's other shows out there now that we can gather inspiration from. I know the last time we talked about this. We had a pretty long discussion of what world we would live in, as far as or how we would want our world to be based on the two different shows, especially economy wise, how people got paid, things like that. Because I mean, you've got One Punch Man that has payment off of ranking systems. Mm-hmm. My Hero, which is sort of the same, but I think they have a more complex way of how they pay their heroes and things like that.
Well, it's not just that. It's the fact that, outside of heroes, you've got the widest group of the population that has some kind of ability.
Right. And I mean, damn near everybody is born with superpowers, whether they're usable for superheroism or not. Did you not take your meds?
I did. I don't know what's going on.
There's only one cat in here. Just saying.
I mean, I feel fine. I just keep sneezing for some reason.
I'm sorry.
It's whatever it is. I don't think it's the cat.
Oh, well, I don't know. I can't think of anything else in here that you would be allergic to.
I have no idea.
Because we deep cleaned this room before we laid this floor down.
Hmm.
So we had no idea what would be under this carpet.
Yeah, the first thing I do when I get up is take allergy meds.
Fair.
So,
You never know when you're going to run into a cat.
well, plus it's a 24-hour thing, so
Yeah.
that way I'm good for the whole day and I don't forget it.
But that is a question. What would you choose?
For my ability, it would it'd basically be the most OP ever.
Oh, yeah?
The power to create whatever I imagine.
Okay, so that actually brings up a good conversation. How would you do that? How would you materialize these things that you imagine? Would it be from your own matter? Would it be matter surrounding you, like you can manipulate the matter?
It would come from a pocket dimension made up of all the elements. It could
Okay.
be assembled.
He's
and then,
thought about this, guys. Holy
It
shit.
could be assembled and then brought to me. Yeah, this is something I thought about as a little kid, and the thought just never went away. It would always just constantly be in the back of my head, so I'd randomly think it up again and be like, "Oh, hey, I never thought about that. Maybe I should fine tune that part of the idea."
Yeah, so you would have a pocket dimension.
With a telepathic link.
Now, would it be several dimensions? Like each dimension has different, where you hold
Well,
things
the,
that you've
the
used before?
dimension would be essentially limitless. That way, it could hold all of the element, or how do I put this?
Resources. Let's just narrow it down to resources.
It's not necessarily resources. It'd be like the periodic table of elements.
Okay.
So it could have every single element in basically endless quantities and just use up whatever it needs to build the components to build whatever it is, and then it would just bring it to me.
Okay, fair enough. Now, that brings up another question, and this is... Because when you say that you can pretty much build whatever you imagine, I started thinking, you would need matter to do so. Mm-hmm. One of the shows that me and you are pretty adamant in watching, that we've watched many times over, is Full Metal Alchemist. Using matter to create. Now, one of the key elements to the show is creating human life. How would you go about that? Say you wanted to create, like, you needed a decoy, or say you're in a mid fight and you're like, okay, I'm getting beat up. Let me create a decoy for the bad guy to go after.
Okay, so here's the thing.
How would you create a functioning decoy?
That goes into the other part of this. The downside that I basically built in to sort of balance what it is.
Right.
I have to understand how the components are made, how they're fit together, and what they do.
So guns are not your territory.
Nope.
Okay, I could see that.
So kind of like, what's her name? From My Hero Academia. The one with the creation ability. The stuff is created from the limpets in her body. She has a lot of exposed skin because the skin is where whatever she makes comes out.
I don't think I haven't watched that in forever. And the last episode that I watched,
She's part of his class. She's one of the class reps.
I don't
The
remember.
class VP.
Then she hasn't shown up.
She got in. Yes, she got in on recommendation. She's really rich. She likes to study a lot. She's near the top of the class. She's got big black hair, and her costume is basically these red stripes that go over her front. Her tits are generally exposed. I know her hero name is Creati. I just can't remember what her real name is. Momo.
Hold on.
As soon as you'll see her, you'll remember.
Talk about her?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember her.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, she must not have shown up in the show yet that I watched.
Then you've only seen a few episodes.
No, the furthest I've made it is the big fight between All Might and the other dude. What's his name?
Then you know Momo.
I don't remember her then.
Hold on a second.
I don't remember seeing her power.
MHA. Momo's first appearance. Momo Yaoyorozu. Hold on a second. God damn it. Gonna have to be a wiki.
Oh, poor Kaz.
I mean, she's introduced in the first 10 episodes. Anime debut, episode 5.
See, I don't remember.
One of the first people you meet when you get to the academy.
Yeah, don't remember. I'll have to rewatch it. Last time I watched that show was 2 years ago. I don't remember her using her power either.
Her power is creation.
Oh, jeez.
What?
I just pulled this up.
What the fuck? What is it with people in this, like, inflation fetish thing? I don't understand.
Oh, shit. Oh, hello. That's Maxie.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'll have to rewatch. I'm gonna have to because I know the
It
new
sounds like
season
you're
just.
gonna be watching something else when I leave.
I just know that the new season just dropped not too long ago, and I haven't watched it yet.
No, it didn't. The new season's still on hold.
Or whatever the there was a season that just released not too long ago that I haven't seen.
It wasn't not too long ago. It's been quite a while.
Has it?
Mm-hmm.
Pulling up Funimation. I don't know why I still have this app. I don't remember paying for it, but I still have it. No ads.
That's fucking weird.
I know. My subscription, according to the app, went up a year and a half ago, and I still have it with no ads.
Well, we'll see how long Funimation is still around as an entity.
See, the last episode I watched, according to this, was episode 71.
Yeah, you definitely know who this bitch is. You know who she is. You know her motivations. You know everything about her powers. You saw her overcome her internal struggle.
What was her internal struggle? Because I don't remember.
Basically, confidence. She had no confidence. One of the most OP abilities in the entire show. And was so afraid to make any kind of decision on how to use her power, what to do, strategies, things like that. Although it turns out she's a brilliant strategist.
Well, anyone... Okay. Oh, excuse me. Not to sound sexist, but any female with big tits, big tits in anime usually has a pretty smart brain.
Anymore, that wasn't always true.
That's true. Ooh, my kids are getting in trouble. Oh. See, my superpower has always been the same, and it's pretty much the same with yours. But I would be able to materialize weapons, and there was a show.
Well, how would it be specifically weapons?
Guns and swords.
No, I mean how.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. There was it Ultraviolet. I got the idea from Ultraviolet where they were able to it appeared out of, I think it was wristbands. Mine, I would be born with mine, and they would like digitize.
You know that's not an ability she has, right? It's equipment.
Right. But I would actually, like, I've always imagined, I've never really kind of fleshed anything out. I've always dreamt about it and how things would work in a weird way. Like, I'd either be born with a jewel or something within my wrists that anytime I would think of a different weapon, and it was specifically weapons or shields, that I could just hold out my hand and it would start to appear just like an ultraviolet in pixels, and then make its shape of whatever I was imagining it would do. Or I can alter it mid-fight to say from a simple shotgun to a machine gun, but that machine gun would have to shoot shotgun shells because it was already materialized as a shotgun. It was really weird. Or I could add to it like a giant bayonetta and have like a shotgun sword or something like that. That is always what I've imagined. You know, it's not my ideal superpower because I could think of a lot of others that I would prefer to have.
Okay, but the problem I'm running into is what would limit it to specifically weapons?
I don't know. I've never fleshed it out. This is always something that it's like, you know, have you ever had like a recurring dream where it's just nothing specific, but my recurring dreams always change story wise, but it always has the same premise, the same powers, depending on, you know, like one of mine is being a Spartan with this ability. Yeah, I know it's weird. I'm sorry. Okay. And
you can't apologize for having a dream. It's not like you can control that shit.
But it's, like I said, it's nothing that I've actually ever dwelled into or fleshed out. But I enjoy dwell into and
delve into.
Yeah, shut up. I'm thinking
dictionary time.
But I've never fleshed it out. It's just something that I've dreamt about over and over again. Like I said, there are many other superpowers I would rather have. But that's just the one I keep on thinking about, and I don't know why. So I don't know why specifically weapons. I think it's mainly just the fact that it's a. I imagine it now that I'm thinking about it, it's more of a defense mechanism that triggers it. So like if I'm in a fight or get into a fight, that's when I can activate this power. And that's why it's specifically weapons or shields. One to defend, one to attack. I mean, that's just now that I'm thinking about it and fleshing it out, since you want to force me to and put me on the spot, you fucking asshole. But what's funny is that ever since I've seen Ultraviolet, that is just, I've had that in my dreams. I don't know why. Because it used to be, and it was after I watched Full Metal Alchemist, is that I was able to materialize armor benches. It was weird. Like, I would just be able to touch the ground, and a beam of energy would create a square for centered around where my hand was, and I would be able to pull the ground up, and a weapon rack would come out of the ground.
Jesus.
I like guns. But I could be anywhere and do it. Like I could touch the wall.
You wouldn't be a soldier. You'd basically just be a mobile armory.
But that's how it used to be. And then I watched Ultraviolet, and I'm like, okay, now I have access to these weapons, and nobody else does. So I can't just pull out a weapon rack and like everybody goes, oh, a gun, and grab it. And now I'm fucked because now I'm surrounded.
Okay, but what would stop you from giving the gun you created to someone else?
Once I let it go, it disappears. It has always done that. Once I let go of the weapon, it disappears. And it goes back into pixels and goes right back into the gem that was in my wrist. And then all it would have to do is create the shape of any handle. So if I go like this, it would materialize from the bottom of my palm and create a gun. Or if I make the shape of a sword hilt in my hand, it would materialize a sword. And then from there, I can modify it in any way I choose. So, like the tip of the sword, I can create a barrel inside the sword, and at the tip would be the exit of the barrel. And then I could materialize a trigger around the hilt and use it as a pistol sword or something like that. It's just how it worked. I've never fleshed it out. But it's a cool idea I've always been fond of.
I mean, as far as dreams like that go, I haven't necessarily had dreams like that. I do remember one, though, that I'd never been able to forget because it was so fucking out of left field and crazy. I was little, and we had just watched... we watched the first 2 X-Men movies back to back.
Okay. I love those movies.
God, whose was it? My sister bought these really big, really expensive ice cream sandwiches, and I wasn't allowed to have one because they were so goddamn big. Like, these things were that big.
Poor Cass can't have
and I was
ice
a little
cream.
kid, so they weren't gonna let me have that much fucking ice cream, especially not right before bed.
No shit.
So that night, one of the dreams I had, because I had trouble sleeping, I always have. One of them, I met some of the X-Men, and I finally got my hands on one of those ice cream sandwiches. Now, if I was coming into contact with someone...
Welcome to the school, young Kaz. Here's an ice cream sandwich.
No. They didn't give it to me. It just, all of a sudden, it was in my hand. Right? But here's where it gets really stupid. Just hold on. Whenever I came into contact with one of them, if I was touching them in some way, like a handshake or hand on the shoulder, hand on the arm, what have you,
Yeah.
and I took a bite out of the fucking thing, I would take their power. Like, not copy it.
What happens?
Literally take it.
What happens when you run out of the ice cream sandwich?
They get it back.
You've got this giant ice cream sandwich. Oh man, the last bite. All the X-Men are standing there. Fucking eat it. Fucking eat it. Fucking eat it. Oh, I think I'll save it for later. We have Titan robots attacking the city. Take the fucking bite, child.
Sentinels, not Titans.
I can...
It was so fucking stupid, but I've never been able to forget it. You think that's weird?
I can see Wolverine give me that thing and tries to take a bite of it, and nobody gets their powers back. Yeah, man, it had to have been me. You done fucked it up for everybody. Nice going, Wolfie.
Hold on, because there's an even stranger one from when I was even younger. I was either in first or second grade. This is the only, it's one of the only things I remember about that part of my life, was this one dream. My brother and I had a huge bag of Skittles. Now, this is not in the dream, but we had this huge bag of Skittles that we'd been working on for like a week because we weren't allowed to have too many at once.
You're right.
And in the dream, anytime you would eat a Skittle, depending on the color, you would get a power. I don't remember which powers they were.
Makes sense, though.
But I got the idea to eat one of all of them at the same time, and I became like a permanent superhero. Like the costume materialized on me and everything. I was basically a Skittles-powered Power Ranger.
It's like, I don't want this power anymore. Where's the Skittles? I want to change.
Time to mix things up.
You eat like 3 of them at a time.
But no, like I was instantly an adult with this dopey goddamn costume on. And I couldn't change back. That was the thing. I was permanently like that.
Like reverse Shazam, except for with Skittles. You poor kid.
So which one of those do you think is weirder?
The ice cream sandwich. Because it wasn't you with the powers, it was the ice cream sandwich. How does that make you feel?
It didn't happen to anyone else. It only happened to me.
But it was exactly. But it was the ice cream sandwich that it sounds like gave you the power.
I don't know. I just remember Logan was pissed at me.
I'm sure.
He's like, I didn't just take his power. I took his metal fucking skeleton and everything.
Just eat the last bite, kid.
So I remember we were walking somewhere in the dream. He was late to something and for some reason wearing a suit. I don't know. And we were about to separate. He was walking one way down the street. I was going to walk the other. So I gave him a handshake, took a bite, and then all of a sudden the claws were coming out of my fist.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez, that's horrible.
Like I said, don't apologize for your dreams. It's not like you can control that shit.
It still brings me to my next question. So now we've talked about many different universes with superpowers. I mean, we've got... I'm not going to count Full Metal Alchemist, mainly because they're not really superpowers. It's science. What world would you rather live in? You would pick from any of them. I mean, it's a valid question, too, because there are two worlds specifically that you get paid off of your superpower. One of the worlds, even if you own a store, you're still getting paid using your superpower, because most likely that store is going to be based off your superpower.
Well, the problem is, no matter which one you choose, there's no guarantee you'll have a power.
That's true. But in this scenario, you have a superpower. You have your superpower to call upon anything from a pocket dimension.
In that case...
That's why we discuss powers first, and now we're going to discuss what world you would live in.
That's a really good question.
Now keep in mind, I can materialize weapons from my wrists, and I wear a Spartan suit as a superhero costume.
Jesus, I don't think you would fit in at, UA high school. What's that? You can shoot laser beams? How does that work against an AK?
See, just chill out, kid. Chill out. The bully bullies who?
I tell you what, it would bring a whole new definition to the word school shooter. How's that for a dark joke?
Oh, shit.
See, now, with my ability, probably the safest place would be My Hero Academia. Just out of the ones that we've been talking about so far, not considering things we haven't thought of. But that's because there's so many goddamn world-ending things that happen in One Punch Man that I just wouldn't be able to prepare for.
No.
Entire cities being wiped out and shit. Yeah, no. No thanks.
Excuse me.
But I mean, at least in the world of My Hero Academia, you've got different resources that could help me basically learn and fine-tune my ability to where I could create more things, just have more
and that's
experience.
why I would choose My Hero. Because especially like with things with my power now, this is something I haven't fleshed out. So for me, I would like to have a school where I can learn to use my ability to find out what types of weapons. Can I just create guns and swords and shields, or can I...
They would probably limit you to shields and stun guns.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Can I create a stun gun? That I don't know. So I would need...
Well, I mean, if you consider a shield, in that bracket of weapons only style creation, I'm pretty sure a stun gun would count too.
Yeah, but again, for somebody that hasn't fleshed that out, I wouldn't know that. So going into a universe, I would prefer the My Hero because the school itself, I'm sure, would give me an area where I can learn these abilities without hurting anybody or hurting myself even. And that's what I love about the show was because the school, the academy is such a great place for.
Ooh, wait a
people with
second.
these powers.
Would you be able to create a bow and arrow?
Question is, can I create the arrows?
No, the question is what would happen when you let go of the arrow?
That is true. Well, I don't. I would say it wouldn't disappear because it's just like with the ammunition. I've always been in these dreams. I've always been able to fire the ammunition from the weapon, and it makes contact. Now, mind you, I have these gems in both hands, so I can create the bow with one hand, materialize the arrows with the other, pull back. And that's how that's how I would imagine it. Like as I'm drawing back the bow, the arrow will materialize, and I would let it go, and it's considered ammunition. I mean, that's just how I see it, but I get your point. Would it disappear? Because an arrow can be used as a standalone weapon on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because if you can do that, if it worked that way with ammunition, you could basically stockpile endless amounts of ammunition.
Oh, that's how it's always been, even in my dreams. Like, whenever the gun runs out, I would just materialize from that
Right,
gym
but I mean, it
right back
wouldn't.
into
It
the
wouldn't
magazine.
just work for you. Is what I'm getting at.
Aha.
So you would have a place on like, since My Hero Academia takes place in Japan, like the self-defense force,
Right.
just arming the soldiers.
Man, I could become rich. Hell yeah.
And if it works that way, basically, would you consider a grenade ammunition? Because you can put it in a grenade launcher. Of course, it's a different kind of grenade.
Right,
but
and
you know
that's what I was
mean.
getting right. That kind of complicates things because a grenade is a weapon upon itself, and then a grenade launcher grenade is actually considered ammunition, just the way it's made in general. It has an impact trigger. They even go as far as having some grenades with a computer chip in them that detonate upon a certain distance from the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real life thing. God, that does bring up a shit ton of questions.
Because if you can do that, you can create nukes and actually launch them.
And nobody would ever know that a nuke is coming their way. Because there's no computer attached to them to get a warning from the internet.
Exactly.
Watch out, people.
Automatic world-ending supervillain.
I don't know. I've never imagined myself a supervillain. Like, even in video games, and we talked about this in an episode too. I have never played a bad guy. Like, I have never received a bad... Like, even though I have a chance to replay a video game, like, that has a bad guy ending. When you play RPGs like that, I've always gotten good endings to video games. Something about, like, I could imagine me being a villain. I could see where that would go. But personally, I might have a villainous attitude. But I can't, even in that kind of world, I don't see myself being a villain.
I can.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. I can't, if I can't bring myself to become a villain in video games, I don't, it's just part of me. I couldn't do it. I'm just not that type of person. I'm an asshole. Don't get me wrong, but...
See, I could, but the kind of villain I would be would basically be Lelouch from Code Geass.
I've never watched Code Geass.
Basically, what he does at the end of it, yeah, I'm going to spoil it, because it's been out long enough, so screw you.
Fair enough.
What he does is he turns on the entire world. He becomes the world's enemy, and the world has to unite to fight him. Differences are put aside, alliances are made, everybody's better at the end of it because
Right.
they had to fight him.
Yeah, I still couldn't bring myself to do anything like that either. It's not in my benefit. Oh, that makes me a villain, doesn't it? Holy shit!
I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't kill myself in the process. I'd let the world believe I was dead. I mean, that's what would be necessary to happen.
I mean, yeah, but I don't want to hide out for the rest of my life either.
With my ability, I could just make a mask whenever I go out in public.
That's true. Or you can just hide out. That's,
Just be a
can
different
you,
person
can
every
you
day.
be like, oh, what's his fucking name from the Flash? The Flash villain that has, oh, what's his name? What's his fucking name?
I don't know what you
Look at me, tell me what his name is. He
mean. He. There's a lot of he's.
creates pocket dimensions. What is his name?
Creates pocket dimensions.
Yeah, he has his own pocket dimensions that he hides out in. He's in the big floating chair. What is his fucking name?
Oh, Thinker.
Yes. Can you do that? Can you hide out in your own pocket dimensions? I mean, if you can materialize anything made of matter, could you make your own world within a pocket dimension with its own cities and people and food and...
I don't know.
I mean, that's your power, right? So think about it. You can legit be like, so overpopulation of the world, right?
The
All
thing
right,
is,
let me open up this
the
portal
things that
for
I would
everybody.
create would be brought to me, not me being brought to it.
But it has to be brought to you somehow, right? Through a portal. Does it just blink? There it is.
It would materialize after
Okay.
it's built.
But these are pocket dimensions. There has to be a way into them, right?
Not necessarily.
Like, I hate to, like, I'm not trying to exploit your character here,
well,
but...
no. The way I've always thought about it is it would either be literally the equivalent of a void, but instead of it being empty, it would literally be filled to the brim with endless quantities of all this stuff. So it's
Okay.
not like someone could go there, or it would be basically a separate universe. Because the universe is made up of all the same elements that are in the periodic table.
So are you just
So
killing off
stars,
other people in
planets.
the universe, in this other universe thing?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, shit. Now, are you the villain? To somebody else's universe? Because now you're pulling resources from their universe, you fucking
Well,
asshole.
anytime you're the hero, you're the villain to somebody.
You're just creating mass genocide on a universal level.
I don't know. Thing is, I wouldn't really be able to go there. It would just all come to me.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know for sure.
I bet you it haunts your dreams, though, don't it?
Well, like, I wouldn't be able to carbon date anything either.
Yeah. Could this universe already be dead? Yeah, I get it. Okay. Still, you're creating mass genocide on a universal level. You just don't know it yet.
It's not like I'm really doing it.
That's true. Oh. What is your other what if scenario?
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to think of one.
You just thought of one?
Yeah.
I've been telling you.
Yeah, I was going to do it yesterday, and then Ella spent the whole day sick.
Okay.
So,
That's
sick
fair.
3-year-old kind of took over the day and most of the night.
So here's my other what if, and this is super nerdy, and
This would make 3 for you, by the way.
the first one doesn't count.
Okay, tell me.
Okay. Fusion. What if you could fuse
With people?
with people? Just in this inspiration, I was watching the
I'd
trailer.
rather fuse with an animal, to be honest.
I was watching something from. Well, no, I wasn't watching. I take that back. I was looking at screenshots to the new Dragon Ball Z movie. Or the Dragon Ball Super movie, I'm sorry. And now we're getting Teen Trunks and Teen Goten with their fusion of Teen Gotenks.
It's such a stupid goddamn name.
But it made me think.
The other fusion names make sense. That one doesn't.
Vegito and Gogeta?
Whatever,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
it's pronounced Gogeta.
Still, either way, those actually make sense with the way the words fit together.
You know, they did a what-if scenario, lore-friendly what-if scenario of Piccolo and Goku. Piccolo, the name doesn't change. It's Piccolo.
No. just no. Anyways, no. Fusing with people sounds terrible. Because number one, I don't want to share all the deepest, darkest thoughts in my head with somebody else, and I don't want to know anyone else's.
So, I get where you're coming from on that, but I am thinking more of the Dragon Ball fusion. So, in the Dragon Ball fusion, when they fuse, they become one. They do not share thoughts. They have that one fusion thought that is a whole new person when they fuse. It is not two, it is one at that point. The whole thought process, the memories, everything is not shared. It is one.
I mean, what kind of applications would we have for that in the real world?
I don't know.
Like I said, I'd rather be able to fuse with animals.
Okay, what kind of applications come with animals? You gonna piss on a street post because you become fused with a dog?
No, free travel. Fuse with a bird, fly wherever you need to go.
How you gonna catch a fucking bird to fuse with it? Are you just gonna walk into your local pet store? Hey, let me borrow this.
No, just have one as a pet.
I don't want to have to spend money just to fuse, though.
It's cheaper to feed a bird than it is to have a car.
That's fair.
Just putting that out there.
God, yeah, that's fair. But would just any bird, or would you have a specific bird in mind now that you're thinking about it? Or has this been something that you've thought about before?
Wow, we lost 2 viewers with this conversation. I don't know.
I've been watching it, by the way. They've been popping in and out, which is a lot better than what we've had in the past.
I think I would want a raven. They're bigger, they're smarter.
See, I would pick a raven more from my religion views.
You won't be Odin just by owning a raven.
I'm not saying that. Well, that's part of the reason why. I mean, so just quick side note here, because you said they are bigger, they are smarter. The reason why Odin chose a raven as a symbol of guidance, because Odin was a symbol of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's why. Anyway, so side note over. You're right though. They are definitely a lot smarter than most birds in the animal kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what I would choose. Because now this is just switched out from what I originally thought, Mr. Pick an animal. I don't have an imagination.
I don't want to become another person for an hour and not have it mean anything.
30 minutes.
Whatever. Same difference. Well, we're in the real world and we became a new person. A new person that's not going to exist as soon as we're done. And what are we going to do? Eat popcorn. That's what we're going to do. We're going to sit here and watch a fucking TV show and then we'll split.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Now, okay, here's a question.
What?
Does it, in this scenario, is it actual animals, or can they be mythical?
Well, for real world applications, it'd have to be real world animals.
Fuck. Okay. It would be a hamster.
Why?
Bitches love hamsters. Your face.
See, there's things that people do sexually with rodents. I would never,
I
would never want to
wasn't-
be one.
I wasn't thinking that.
No thanks.
This isn't fact by Eminem. Okay, chill out. Take
Like,
a roll.
the simple fact that there's more than a 0% chance that that would happen is way too much for me.
No, hamsters are cuddly. Think of all the cleavage. I'm just saying.
Okay, you could also put your human face and human hands on that too. And cover a bigger surface area. Not to mention do more with it.
Gotta start somewhere, okay?
But I mean, it would how do I put this? It would basically it would shake up sports as a whole. Because we would have not only chimera fights when it came to wrestling and things like that, but think of just like football or soccer. A new level of speed and agility when you fuse with certain animals. It'd become a much more intense.
It would shake up the world as a whole. Now, you bring up being chimera. Would it be really considered? Because the definition of a chimera is a fully fused.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. We wouldn't necessarily become the animal itself. We would become a hybrid
it's
between us and that animal.
Also not permanent. So by definition, is it a chimera?
Permanency is not a condition of chimerism.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I just had to clear that up because it wouldn't be permanent. Now, granted, now we've got to discuss how it wouldn't be permanent, and
I mean, I'm thinking general time limit, and with training, it extends.
okay, fair enough. Because I mean,
It's like
sports can last.
the more
an
stamina
hour
you
and
have, the longer you can maintain it.
Fair enough. Yeah, they would shake up the world in a whole though. Because if you think about it, not just sports. I mean, this kind of situation runs deeper than that even, because if
Guerrilla warfare.
exactly, you can think of how different wars would be.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a show. Was it Black Mirror on Netflix?
I never watched Black Mirror.
So there's, I think it is Black Mirror, but I could be wrong. I get it confused with something else too, maybe. But it's a show that's different. It's pretty much a what if scenario show.
Well, Black Mirror is basically the techie new wave version of Twilight Zone and Outer Limits.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it was Black Mirror. There was an episode where 2 werewolves were a thing, and
No. That's Love, Death, and Robots.
that one. Yes. Okay. You're right. Love, Death, and Robots.
Yep.
Love it.
That
Really
was a
good
great
show.
episode.
But that falls into this whole situation. You know, think of how wars would be.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! I mean,
Well, but I
the
mean-
Geneva Convention would have to change everything,
Right, but I
just
mean,
to
fusing with an animal, like if you fuse with a wolf, that wouldn't make you become a werewolf. Like you wouldn't get the regeneration abilities
Right, but you
or
would have-
allergy to silver.
But you would have all the abilities to hear for far distances, smell,
Right.
agility, things like that.
All the natural abilities of wolves.
Right. So it's still even the natural strength of a wolf.
Mm.
So essentially, you would be a werewolf, but except for the healing capabilities. Anyway, so I mean, Jesus, yeah. I mean, the Geneva Convention would have to change. It would just laws in general. Think of how many mass murders there would be around the world, and nobody would know because it only happened. They were only at that animal, or 30 minutes, does that leave your own DNA? Does it leave the DNA of the animal? Is it a mixture of the two? If you fuse, does the DNA change completely?
But when you think about it, that would also cause an evolution to crime scene investigation.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you can fuse with a bat and hear things that normal humans wouldn't be able to hear no matter what they did.
But still,
you could fuse with animals with superior eyesight, see things in different ways.
But does the DNA change, or is it two separate DNAs? Like, say, okay, this is gonna get a little weird.
I don't think
BTK.
it would.
So we live in Kansas. If anybody doesn't know who BTK is, one of the local serial killers that we had here in Kansas, not too far from where we live.
Thankfully gone now.
Yes, in prison. BTK, bind, torture, kill. He actually ejaculated on his victims.
Okay, we don't need to go that far.
Hear me out. I'm not going that far.
No,
but
when you brought up DNA, I figured I knew where you were going with that, and I don't think it would work that way because I don't think it would change you on a genetic level.
Right, because I mean, if you took on the characteristics of said animals, there are animals out there that can't control like their bladder. So, say you a killer fused with a small dog, per se. Now, I don't know why you would do that, but they fused with a small dog that pissed a lot, and as he's walking away from the crime scene, he's pissing. Does that leave his DNA, the dog's DNA, a mixture of the two? And do you share that DNA even after the fusion is over?
Okay, that's a fair question, because it would essentially consume both of you to create the new being for a short period of time,
Right?
and both of you still exist.
Even a better example. You're attacking somebody and they were able to cut you, and you left their blood. Your blood was left at the crime scene. And
my guess is it would leave two strands of DNA because we would both still exist, but the fusion itself is only temporary. It's not permanent.
But see, and that's still where it kind of still gets complicated, because I can see what you're saying just for convenience sake. But like with examples like in the Dragon Ball universe where it's
hold on.
one person.
Actually, it goes a little further than that because chimerism is a real thing. It's a real genetic disorder where a person is born with two strands of DNA.
Yeah.
So those two things can exist within the same organism at the same time.
But with this fusion, though, I mean, it's a fusion, not just a shared fusion. Isn't just a shared thing. It's becoming one. Do you see what I'm saying? But there are different types of fusion. There is the fusion where you become one, and there is, which is more of a molecular fusion, or there is the a mental fusion where you share a body with two different minds. Now, I don't think science has really explored anything like that where, yeah, you have two different minds and one body, but because there's two different minds, does the body share the same DNA? Or is it still two separate DNA? Because there's like we've seen them in movies and things like that where somebody is fused with something else, and they share half the characteristics of what they fused with. So you'll have like a centaur where they're half horse, half human. So which would I could see create two different types of DNA, the human DNA and the animal DNA, or is it still a fused DNA to create that one being? They've done it even in Resident Evil, for crying out loud, where they
it would probably have to stay separate because if it actually fused the DNA together, it would essentially be the same as the Dragon Ball Z fusion, where you're creating a new entity that's not either of the former.
Fair.
And when it comes to like who would have control of the brain, whoever had the higher functioning,
better example,
mental capacity.
Firestorm. One body, two minds. They share. Well, currently it's somebody else, but isn't it Ray's body? and
Yeah,
Dr. Stein's mind.
Yeah, Dr. Stein never takes. It's never Dr. Stein's
His body is not the
physical
host.
form. Yeah.
Right. So, again, the question is, and I don't think they've ever explained it in Flash, where it's the one body with the two minds. Now, but is it just Ray's DNA that they're sharing?
It's not Ray. Ray is Ray Palmer. He's
Or,
the
yeah, my
Atom.
bad. What's his name? I forget now. Because I know there's two different firestorms. There's actually 4 different firestorms. And
Ronnie.
Ronnie. He's not the current firestorm of the comics right
No.
now, but it was his body, but they never explained if it's his DNA. And that's another whole different fusion that, we've got to take into consideration too.
Jackson. Jackson is the current one.
Yeah. But again, that's a whole other fusion that you have to think about. Is that kind of fusion, granted,
It wouldn't seem feasible with animals because we wouldn't really be able to communicate with each other even if we shared a neural pathway.
we don't know
When
that.
you think, what language do you think in?
The universal language.
That's not a universal language. When you think, if you can, because apparently not everybody does this. I learned this a few months ago. In your head, you can actually have conversations or think in so many words. Just the words play out
Right.
as they normally would. That's your consciousness. That's your conscience, and it would go in whatever language you use.
Okay, fair enough.
So how would you communicate with someone who can't communicate the same way?
Well, and I get that, but that also brings up another question. When you fuse, when you're sharing minds, you would think naturally if you're sharing something with someone, no matter what they speak, at that point, since you're sharing, you should be able to understand, to be able to function your motor skills and
Not necessarily.
things like that. I mean, the brain has to communicate no matter, even with an animal, you have to be able to
Well, it's
communicate
just
those
like
functions.
when you fuse with a bird for the first time, you're going to have to learn how those
fly
new muscles and bones
right.
move. So it's not like you'll fuse and then right away be jumping off buildings and surviving. It's you learn as you go.
I'm sorry, I kind of muted myself there for a second because you're going to think this is hilarious.
Here we go.
I was thinking of Cool Patrol.
Here we
Starbomb
go.
is so great. Oh. So you said bird, and I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier, but I did. That's all I can think about. For nobody understanding, look up Cool Patrol by Starbomb.
Jesus. I don't think you would have to eat the animal to fuse with it. I'm just saying.
Now you have the power to fly.
And you can also dive for fish because your vision's enhanced. Because this is the Cool Patrol ants.
Oh my god. Oh, what time is it?
Jesus Christ.
3:05. I told you the what if center. I'm gonna throw my phone at you because fuck your face.
Damn it. Your fucking lock screen, I swear to God. She doesn't know that's what that is,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And she knows that everyone you know sees that, right?
Yes. I am.
Okay, as long as she's aware. That's,
She is aware that I am proud of her titties.
no,
So
just consent is a beautiful thing. That's all I'm saying.
she knows. Oh man. I'm gonna cut us off though, because it is 3:00. I have things that I should have done this morning that I need to do. I told you the what if scenarios would last some time.
Oh, but as for stuff that was missing from episode 6 that we were supposed to talk about earlier and didn't quite get to, I am writing a book. Although it's not a normal book, it's a special kind of book. Now, if you know what this is, stop what you're thinking. It's not one of those. All right? All right. If you've ever heard of a visual novel, what that is basically a digital book that has visual representations with a text-based narrative overlay. You can download it on a phone. You can use it on a computer. I don't think any are available for...
I still can't get the one you sent me to work.
I can get it to work.
I have it. Hold on, I'll show you. It's weird.
I sent Kid one just so he could have an idea in his head of what they are.
Because I'm showing you it's going to work this time.
Your sound's not on, is it?
Nope, not anymore.
Okay, good, because there's music there, and I can't remember if it's copyrighted. That's the little disclaimer thing at the beginning of it, because it is what it is, and I'm not going to explain it. You're not going to explain it either on stream, because we don't need that.
Oh, now it's working. Of course it would work as soon as you...
Anyways, the reason I'm doing it this way is because I suck at a thing called imagery. I'm not very good at describing, like, the visual aspects of a scenario, surroundings, landscapes. I'm not good at putting what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing in my head into words. So I figured maybe I should go for some kind of animation. Well, I have no experience in that, and it takes a long time to actually learn and really do. So visual novels are basically a fusion between the two. You've got a visual representation, and you can tell the story over it. You just, if you're using it on a phone, you tap to go to the next page. If you're on a computer, you click or hit spacebar, whatever you want to do. It's really easy. It's open source, and I can start releasing stuff very, very quickly. The only thing I need to do is actually write down a script for this world that I'd been writing for about 8 years. There's a story that's in my head, and I've always wanted to get it out, but I didn't really know how. So this is how I'm going to choose to do it. I will be sending updates as soon as I have any regularly throughout the...
On your Facebook?
Yeah, on the Facebook group page, as well as other things. There will be ways to get this, and at the very least, the beginnings of it are going to be free. But the further I get into it, using the software that I have to use for the visual representations, those are going to cost money for the things that I want to actually do, because I don't have the experience to build these 3D assets. So the easy way to do that while not making it take forever and getting the story out without making it take 10 years would eventually be possibly doing like a Patreon scenario where I release a couple chapters every month. Just put like a low price, $1 to $3, something like that, for supporters every month, just so that I can pay for the assets, and that would be pretty much it. But I'll have more details on that as they develop. We'll see how it goes. Other than that, is there anything you want to add?
No, I'm good for now. Well, yeah, actually. We give a teaser about what might happen soon, maybe, kind of.
How?
Well, as soon as I click sign here, it will be official.
Let's wait until we have something to show.
Okay.
Something that I can put on screen.
I will, as soon as it's official, because I'm excited about this, I will make a short clip on Twitch. Fuck it. Why not? Or, well, we need more YouTube content. No, I'm going to do Twitch. I'll do it during a stream.
Well, you're gonna have to make up your mind.
No, we'll wait because I need Kaz for things anyway. So anyway, we'll discuss it. It's super exciting news. It's well, at least for us. I don't know about anybody else, but it's super exciting for us.
Oh fuck!
What?
William Hurt died.
Who's that?
Remember the Marvel movies?
Yes.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Who's that?
That guy.
Oh shit. Oh, I saw that yesterday. No, this morning.
What the fuck?
We don't have time for this. We don't. I'm sorry.
My wife, why would she do that to me right at the end of a show? That's not nice.
She's like, here's content.
If you
Here's
can hear
content,
me,
babe. I'm helping
that's a
you.
very not nice thing to do.
Anyway, thank you everybody for listening.
I'm gonna go cry now.
This will be on Twitch for the next 2 weeks and on YouTube forever.
Well, as long as YouTube will let us.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow. Remember on Twitch, we are trying to hit that 50 follower mark. And until next week, we will see you later.
Bye, everybody.